Have you ever felt overwhelmed with all the things you should be doing as an endurance athlete? Mobility routines, strength work, stretching, this diet versus that diet, recovery protocols, heat training, ice bars, mental training, the list goes on, and it's exhausting. Time as endurance athletes is crucial, and we need to guard against it. Our life depends on it, because the most important thing we could be doing is our actual training. My name is Luke Price, psychologist and passionate ultra runner. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can start applying 4 key mental skills in your training today without adding any extra time to your training. Firstly, the most important thing we need to be doing is our actual sports. To most of you watching this, that will be running. This, by its very nature of being an endurance sport, will already put considerable time pressure on us as athletes, not to mention juggling all our other life responsibilities. When I created my performance psychology course for endurance athletes, respecting athletes' time was always front of mind. I don't want to be burdening any athlete with tools that aren't having a positive impact. And what is important to me is that the tools are able to be applied in as simply and as time efficiently as possible. I would love you to check out the course. I've put a ton of work into it and giving it away for free. The link is below in the description, so please check that out. Now quickly, before we dive into the 4 mental skills, let's be clear on something. For some athletes, at certain periods throughout their life, they will likely require more time-intensive psychological input, and that is completely normal and understandable. Working with the complexity of any human behaviour is always tricky, and there isn't always a quick fix or one-size-fits-all approach. If you as an athlete have a certain problem or difficulty that you're struggling with, then some deeper work is required to work your way through that. When I work with athletes one-to-one, I take time to get clear on the specific problem so we can create a plan to manage the most important tasks in the most time-effective and efficient manner, taking into consideration certain outside factors that might be blocking or impeding our progress. There isn't that one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter solution. When working at that level with an athlete, we need to dive deep and unpack things. That work can be life-changing, not just in relation to our running, and that's one of the big reasons why I love it so much. However, we're not focusing on that today. Instead, we're focusing on 4 mental skills that are like the cherry on top, that can boost your performance. For me, these are the fundamentals, the simple strategies that everyone, in my opinion, should be applying and utilising. If not, you're definitely leaving performance gains on the table. So let's dive in and find out what these time-effective strategies are. Endurance events will wear you down over time, aching muscles, physical and mental fatigue, all resulting in decreased ability to regulate our emotions and maintain a helpful, positive mood. We've all been there when we're suffering out in the trails. Suddenly it becomes very difficult to see any positives or feel any uplifting feelings. This is not only taxing on our physical energy levels, but can lead to poor decision making and a host of other unhelpful problems that can be avoided if we just stayed a little bit more positive. Now, I'm yet to have met a high performer that has been a pessimist. So how do we foster and train optimism? The number one simplest method I know is develop a gratitude practice. It takes very little time and extra effort, and pound for pound is one of the best value for time mental tools you can apply. Our evolved brains have a negative bias, which is very helpful when we needed it to survive in a really life-threatening situation, but not so helpful for allowing us to thrive. Combine that with negative cultural influences, media advertising, which all predominantly promote a threat-based perspective on everything. The gratitude practice helps train our brain to shift that dial in favour of a little more optimism, positivity, and all-round goodness in the world. Something that is useful and we can all use a little more of. So this not only improves our performance, but can increase our general well-being and happiness too. Best practice for this is take 2 or 3 minutes after each run to write down 3 things you feel grateful for. It can be anything at all. It can be a clean glass of drinking water, roof over your head, or the great run you did. Connect with the feeling of it briefly. That's really important, so you feel the emotion of it. You don't have to spend that 3 minutes. If you're struggling for time that much, and this is the point of this video, strategies you can apply without wasting any extra time at all. You could do this simply at the end of each run. In the last few minutes of your run, just go through a mental checklist and list 3 things that you're grateful for in your life. Say them out loud in the last couple of minutes. It's important that we do this every day because it primes our brains to notice all the good things. If we know that we've got to sit down later on or tomorrow we're going to do our gratitude practice, then unconsciously throughout the day, we're on alert trying to notice more of the positive things, which is exactly what our survival threat-based brain does the opposite of. So this is a great skill to learn, and you will actually find that you start to notice lots of these little things pop up through the day. And when that happens, we get a nice little healthy kick of dopamine, which makes us feel good, and we have a more optimistic outlook on our life. So it's not just in that small moment that we are coming up with the ideas that this is beneficial, it has a larger effect on our day-to-day life and how we go about it. And it's often the positive feedback I get when I get people to do this. So practice it each day, lock it in, and one of the best strategies you can use. Ultra running is a game of decision making and problem solving. To do this effectively, we first need to have awareness. I see many runners that are completely oblivious to what is going on around them, and more importantly, oblivious to what they are experiencing internally. It's far from ideal for peak performance. So how do we develop awareness? Practicing mindfulness is an effective method of developing awareness and increasing our ability to make beneficial decisions. Some studies suggest that only a minimum of 7 minutes of mindfulness practice a day will show some positive results. In my opinion, you are likely to benefit, and the research supports this, a little bit more from doing maybe 20 minutes of practice a day. So how the heck do we fit this in when this whole video series is on time-effective strategies that doesn't have any extra time in your training? Well, that's what I'm going to show you now. So first of all, let's look at what mindfulness is. It's about paying attention to the present moment, non-judgmentally. When our minds distract us, we get consumed by some other thought or idea. We simply need to recognize this and redirect our attention back onto the intended mindfulness task. And that's it. And it's that simple. Don't be disheartened because you will get distracted multiple times, if not every few seconds or so. Just notice and bring your attention back into the present moment. There's two types of mindfulness. We have informal and formal mindfulness practice. Formal mindfulness practice is typically what you imagine when you think of more meditation, where you're sitting on the mat, legs crossed, eyes closed, or lying down, and being guided through a formal mindfulness practice. Informal is what we're going to focus on today. Informal mindfulness practice is being mindful and staying out of our minds and just being in the present moment whilst we're going about typical day-to-day activities. You do this while brushing your teeth, having a shower, eating a meal, or even when you're out running. So let's have a look at how we can incorporate this. I recommend setting your watch whilst you go out for a run to go off every 5 minutes. And when the watch goes off, try and practice mindfulness for 5 minutes at a time. What we need to do that is engaging our 5 senses, what we can see, what we can feel, what we can hear, smell, taste, and just notice what's happening with those bodily sensations that we're feeling. Pay close attention, be curious about them, and try and stay with them for as long as you possibly can. When your mind inevitably distracts you, try and recognize it quicker and quicker and bring your attention back onto that task of just noticing how your feet are hitting the ground, noticing how your breathing is going, feeling the wind on your skin. All of those sensations and sensory experiences we experience when we're running. And if we can stay in that moment for longer, we are training our brains to develop and grow the practice of being able to focus and control our focus and develop and then also developing more awareness as a result. When we run, we spend hours alone in our scary little minds with millions of thoughts passing from one synapse to another. Hence, we get plenty of opportunities to focusing on developing self-talk habits that promote high performance. Is this thought helpful or unhelpful? Does this thought take me closer to my goals or further away? These are great questions to ask yourself. All we need to do is start engaging more in the positive, helpful, uplifting thoughts. Just become conscious of what we're saying to ourselves, how our self-talk is, the tone of it. The tone that we're saying it to ourselves is very important. So change that to a more positive, uplifting tone and language as well. This is a trainable skill. The more we practice doing this, the easier and more natural it will begin to feel. I promise you that. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but persist with it. If you do this, you'll likely experience a change in mood when running. You'll become more optimistic, less critical towards yourself, and you'll also be more likely to lead into those big scary goals with less fear. Finally, the fourth and last step we can do. To help build our confidence in a small way, make sure we celebrate the small wins of each and every run we do. Confidence is an important factor to both our success and enjoyment of our running. Certain behaviours and thoughts can either detract from our confidence or help build it up, so we might as well build it up when we can. Every day is an opportunity to do this simple task. It's not about faking it till you make it. Instead, it's about being real and noticing the things you've done well. This could be as simple as getting out for a short run when motivation was low. We just have to make a conscious effort to notice and acknowledge our achievement, no matter how big or small. Give ourselves that little pat in the back. When we start doing this each day, it doesn't take long to start changing how we feel about ourselves. The problem is most of us are stuck beating ourselves up. So stop doing this and start finding the small wins we have each day. Take 5 seconds towards the end of each run to engage in this behaviour. For extra points, note it down with your gratitude list each day and watch your confidence climb. So there you have it, 4 very simple and easy to implement mental strategies you can start applying straight away to help you run your best race yet. If you would like to master the mental strategies required for success in your running even faster, then click the link below in the description. I've created a free course that covers all the above and much more to help you run that race of your dreams. Thanks for watching, happy running, and see you out in the trails.